What's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Yubel deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this one for you guys because this deck is an extremely powerful deck to play this format even with Phantom Yubel at 1 because this deck can easily recycle it. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of Notification Squad, and definitely check out the Patreon in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like in your name, description of a single video, getting a signed cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your Patreon. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're playing a single copy of the original Yubel. This card is an extremely important combo piece in the deck, but you only need a single copy of Yubel. We then play a single copy of Terror Incarnate. Terror Incarnate is an awesome combo piece in the deck as well, but you only need a single copy of this card to summon off the effect of Yubel. We then play 2 copies of Spirit of Yubel. Spirit of Yubel is definitely a 2-of in the build, and just an awesome card overall. As if this card is destroyed, you can special summon a Yubel from basically anywhere, which is absolutely crazy. And also, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can special summon this card in the hand, and if this card is special summoned by any means, you get to add to your hand or set a spell or trap from your deck that mentions Yubel, instantly getting your copy of Nightmare Pain, which is absolutely insane. We then play 3 copies of Samsara D Lotus. Samsara D Lotus is basically full combo for the deck. This card has the ability to contribute this card and then special summon a Yubel monster from your deck, which is an insane ability to instantly get your copy of Spirit to your side of the field off this card's effect. This card is so powerful in the build and also has the ability during your opponent's turn, when a monster effect is activated while you control a Yubel monster, quick effect, you contribute this card and the activated effect becomes destroy a Yubel monster on the field, basically making this card a disruption as well, making your Yubel cards go off and disrupting your opponent's plays, which is absolutely insane. And during your end phase, if you control Yubel and this card's in the grave, you can add this card back to your hand or just instantly special summon it to your side of the field, basically giving you full combo all over again. We then play a single copy of Grave Squirmer. Grave Squirmer is really good as a 1-up in the build, basically just as an extender, because this card has the ability to control a fiend monster. Quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand, then destroy a Yubel or a monster that mentions it in your monster zone. You can also banish this card in the graveyard to special summon a fiend monster with 0 tag and defense from your hand or graveyard, making this card as an extender as well by bringing back a monster to your side of the field. But I feel like 1 is really all you need because it's so easy to get to. We then play 3 copies of Dark Beckoning Beast. Dark Beckoning Beast is insane. This card is finally back with your copy of Opening of the Spirit Gates. Giving us full access to this engine is so nice for so many different decks, but especially Yubel, because this card has the ability, when this card is normal summon, you can add your copy of Opening of the Spirit Gates from your deck to your hand, which will search out your copy of Chaos Summoning Beast or another copy of Dark Beckoning Beast, which is such a cool effect. Plus, this card gives us an additional normal summon of a Fiend monster with 0 attack and defense, which is such a cool ability to be able to use with this card. But I love that we have Opening the Spirit Gates back at 3, so we can basically use this deck at full power besides Phantom at 1. We then play a single copy of Chaos Summoning Beast. Chaos Summoning Beast is really good as a 1-of in the build to basically just search off your copy of Opening of the Spirit Gates, so you can normal summon this card out to your side of the field, and then link them both away for your copy of Moon, so you can basically go in for your copy of your Fiendsmith combo, which is so cool to be able to link your copy of Moon away to be able to step into your copy of Requiem to go full Fiendsmith combo in this deck. We then play 3 copies of Engraver. Engraver is definitely a 3-of in the build because it's so powerful to be able to play the Fiendsmith package in this deck, because this card has the ability you can discard it to add a Fiendsmith spell or trap from your deck to your hand, and also this card has the effect that when it's in your graveyard, you can actually shuffle one other light fiend monster from your grave into the deck with the extract to special summon out this card, which is an insane ability to instantly bring this card back to your side of the field, so you can basically step into all sorts of insane plays. We then play a single copy of Lacrima. Lacrima is definitely a 1-of in the build as well to basically work with our Fiendsmith engine. As if this card is normal or special summon, you can send a Fiendsmith card from your deck to the graveyard, which is always going to be your copy of Engraver that you're going to want to send to the graveyard off this card's effect. And also during your opponent's turn, if this card's in the grave, quick effect, you can actually target a Fiendsmith link in your graveyard, shuffle this card into the deck, and use special summon that link monster to your side of the field, which is a great ability to work with your copy of Requiem. We then play a single copy of Fable Lurie. Lurie is just really good in the deck to be able to search off your copy of Tract, discard it to the graveyard, and then special summon out Lurie, going full combo for Fiendsmith. We lay a single copy of Shavara. Shavara is definitely a 1-of in the build as well to be able to use for our Unchained package in the deck, and just a really powerful card overall in the deck to help us step into our Unchained cards. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is definitely a 3-of in the build to basically just stop the opponent from touching the deck. We then play 3 copies of Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler is really good overall in this build as well to basically just stop your opponent's monster effects. We then play 3 copies of Droll and Lockbird. Droll is really good in this deck overall to basically just stop your opponent from searching for the rest of the turn. And then I play 2 copies of Ghost Ogre. Ghost Ogre just helps us pop cards on the field, which is just really nice overall in this deck. So that's going to do it for the monsters, guys. Let's get in to the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Terraforming. Terraforming is insane in this deck because it instantly gets our copy of Nightmare Throne from our deck to our hand. We then play a single copy of 1 for 1, so we can bring out our copy of Samsara D Lotus directly from our deck to our side of our field, so we can basically go full combo. We play a single copy of Nightmare Pain. Nightmare Pain is great in the deck as 1-of, and you only need a single copy of this card because 1 copy of this is basically full combo, because this card has the ability during your main phase, you can destroy a dark monster in your hand or face on the field, and if you do, add a Yubel or a card that mentions it from your deck to your hand, except another copy of this card, basically being a Draconic Diagram for this deck. Also, while you control a Yubel monster, your opponent's monsters that can attack must attack Yubel, and your opponent takes any damage you would have taken from battles involving Yubel monsters, which is insanely powerful, and basically makes your opponent OTKs themselves. We then play 2 copies of Tract. Tract is really good for our Fiendsmith engine and just an overall fantastic card to be able to search our copy of Lurie from our deck to our hand, discard Lurie, and then we'll basically go full combo with Fiendsmith. We then play 3 copies of Opening of the Spirit Gates. I'm so glad that this card is finally back at 3, because we can basically just use the Sacred Beast package at full power again, and it's really, really awesome, as this card is insane, because when this card is activated, you get to add a card that mentions the Sacred Beast from your deck to your hand, which is insane to be able to do, and also once per turn, you can discard a card to special summon a Fiend monster with 0 attack and defense from your graveyard to your side of the field, which is absolutely broken in this deck. And also this card has the effect that once per turn, if you control a level 10 monster, which Yubel is, you can actually add a continuous spell from your graveyard to your hand, which will help you recover your copy of Nightmare Pain just in case your opponent pops it. We then play 3 copies of Nightmare Throne. Nightmare Throne is absolutely broken as a field spell and is basically full combo for this deck. This card has the ability when it's activated, you take a Fiend monster with 0 attack and defense from your deck and either add it to your hand or destroy it, and once per turn, if a face-up Yubel monster you control leaves the field by a card effect, you can add to your hand a Yubel monster from your deck, graveyard, or banishment, whose original level is 1 level higher or 1 level lower than that monster. Then you can special summon it, ignoring its summoning conditions, which is absolutely insane to help us recycle our Yubel cards, and it's just absolutely broken in this build. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're going to be playing a single copy of Abominable Chamber. Abominable Chamber is really good as a 1-of in the build to basically help us bring back our copy of Rage to our side of the field so we can keep linking away our opponent's cards, and it's just a really good combo piece overall in this deck. We then also play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence to go along with all the other hand traps we're playing in this build to basically just control the board. And this card basically negates our opponent's monster effects and also lock down entire columns of spells and traps. It's just a fantastic card overall in this deck, and one of the most powerful hand traps in this format. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get in to the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're playing our one and only copy of Phantom of Yubel. This card is absolutely insane and has the ability to don't have to use polymerization to summon this card out. You just shuffle the above cards from your hand, field, or graveyard into the deck, which is a copy of Yubel and a Fiend monster with 0 attack and defense to be able to make this card, which is absolutely insane. This card is basically an interruption, which is crazy powerful and a really good 1-of in the build. It's unfortunate we only have a single copy of this card, but it's so broken and so easy to recycle, you really only need a single copy of it. And then I have a single copy of Necroquip Princess. This card is insane to be able to work with our Fiendsmith deck, and just super powerful in this build overall. And my single copy of Aerial Eater. Aerial Eater is a must one of if you're playing the Fiendsmith package in this deck. As if this card is Fusion Summon, you get to send a Fiend monster from your deck to the graveyard, and if this card's in your graveyard, you can banish 2 level 6 or higher Fiend monsters that have with the same attribute as each other from your graveyard, except Aerial Eater, to special summon this card, which is such a powerful effect to be able to use. And my single copy of Desiree. Desiree is just a really powerful boss monster that we can make. It's basically like a copy of Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, because this card can actually negate cards on the field, and up to the number of link materials that are basically attached to this card by the link monsters, which is so easy to do in this deck, and just a really powerful one of overall in this build. We then made a single copy of the Final Bringer of the End of Times. This card is insane and pops multiple cards on the field, and it's a walking negate and part of our end board in this deck. We then made a single copy of Wave High King Caesar. This card is a double negate and so powerful in this deck as one to be able to make on our side of the field to help us just control the board. We then played 2 copies of Yama. Yama is so powerful in this deck as a 2-of, because this card has the ability, and if it's link summon, or if it's special summon, excuse me, you get to add an Unchained monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand, which is such a powerful effect to instantly get to our copy of Shivara, which is crazy powerful to be able to do. Plus, this card is basically just an extender, which is really, really good if it's in the graveyard. We then play a single copy of Rage. Rage on its own is basically 3 interruptions, because you link away a card, you make your copy of SP Little Knight, and SP Little Knight is a double interruption, which is so insane to be able to do. So once you establish your copy of Rage, you basically have 3 interruptions, 1 from Rage and 2 copies, or 2 from SP, which is absolutely insane. And SP is just really powerful with your copy of Rage to be able to use in the deck. We then play a single copy of Sequence. Sequence helps us make all of our different fusion monsters besides Phantom of Yubel, and it's really cool to be able to do to basically make your copy of Aerial Eater or Desiree depending on what turn you're on, and it's just really powerful in the deck overall. We play a single copy of Moon of the Closed Heaven. Moon is really good for the Sacred Beast engine, because you basically normal summon out your copy of Beckoning Beast, search out Opening, activate Opening, search Chaos, and then link Chaos and your copy of Opening, or your copy of Chaos and Beckoning away to be able to make this, and then you make your copy of Requiem on your side of the field, basically going full Fiendsmith combo, as this card is a light fiend. And my single copy of Mudracker. Mudracker is just really good overall as a 1-of in the deck to basically just bring back your fiends from the graveyard. And my single copy of Requiem. Requiem is so important for the Fiendsmith combo in the deck, as this card basically has the ability during the main phase, quick effect, tribute this card, and then special summon a Fiendsmith monster from your hand or deck, which is instantly going to bring out your copy of Lacrima. Plus, this card can equip to one of your Fiendsmith monsters, which is so powerful to help you bring out your copy of Necroquip, which is such a powerful effect. We made a single copy of Alamirage. Alamirage is really good as a 1 of the deck, just basically help you get your monsters in the graveyard, and it's just a really powerful combo piece overall in this deck. So, that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played a Yubel deck before, you should definitely give this deck a try. It's still absolutely crazy. Even though we have Phantom of Yubel at 1, this deck is still broken and still absolutely insane to be able to play, with just how powerful Yubel is and all the support that we've gotten recently for this deck. So, that's going to be this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of Notification Squad. We'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.